It was supposed to be the most secure prison in Mexico, surrounded by concrete walls, layers of razor wire, armed guards, surveillance cameras, and procedures designed to eliminate even the smallest mistake. Altiplano Federal Prison was built to hold the country's most dangerous criminals, and among them, one prisoner stood apart. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman wasn't just another inmate. He was the head of one of the world's most powerful drug cartels, a man whose fortune stretched across continents and whose influence had survived arrests, manhunts, and bloody wars. By the time steel doors slammed shut behind him in 2014, officials believed they had finally locked away the one man who always seemed to escape. They couldn't have been more wrong. Every day inside the prison followed an almost mechanical rhythm. Lights on, roll call, meals, recreation, surveillance never stopped. Cameras watched every hallway, every entrance, every movement. Guards rotated through shifts with strict schedules intended to prevent corruption. Every cell had been engineered to eliminate blind spots. Yet buried beneath this appearance of absolute control was one dangerous assumption: that the prison's greatest threat would come from above the ground. Outside the prison walls, something extraordinary had already begun. Months before anyone realized it, a modest-looking warehouse had quietly appeared less than a mile from the prison. From the outside, it looked ordinary enough, another unfinished industrial building among many scattered across the countryside. Trucks occasionally came and went. Workers entered and left without attracting attention. Nothing about it suggested that beneath its concrete floor, one of the most sophisticated escape operations in modern history was slowly taking shape. Deep underground, crews worked around the clock. The tunnel wasn't dug with shovels alone. Engineers, electricians, construction specialists, and trusted members of Guzman's organization transformed what could have been a crude passage into an underground masterpiece. Ventilation systems pumped fresh air through hundreds of meters of earth. Powerful lighting illuminated every section. Reinforced walls reduced the risk of collapse. Rails stretched through the tunnel, allowing small carts to transport dirt away, while construction materials moved deeper underground. Every meter required precision. One mistake could collapse months of work or expose the entire operation. The biggest challenge wasn't digging, it was knowing exactly where to dig. Prison blueprints weren't public, cell locations weren't published. Yet, somehow the tunnel advanced with remarkable accuracy toward one specific target, Cell 20, where Guzman spent most of his time. Investigators would later struggle to explain how such precise measurements were possible without inside information. Whether through corruption, leaked plans, or detailed surveillance, someone knew exactly where El Chapo slept. On the evening of July 11, 2015, nothing seemed unusual. Guards performed routine checks. Cameras recorded inmates moving through familiar patterns. Guzman ate dinner. He walked inside his cell. Hours passed without incident. At approximately 8:52 p.m., surveillance footage showed him walking toward the shower area at the back of his cell. It wasn't an unusual destination. The shower was one of the few places where the direct overhead camera couldn't fully observe an inmate, a privacy concession common in many prisons. Nearly 6 months after vanishing through the tunnel, the search finally came to an end. On January 8, 2016, Mexican Marines launched an operation in the coastal city of Los Mochis. The raid quickly erupted into a fierce gun battle. Several cartel members were killed, while Guzman escaped through another hidden passage before emerging into the city's storm drainage system. Once again, he nearly disappeared. But this time, unlike previous escapes, security forces remained close behind. Hours later, officers intercepted a stolen vehicle carrying Guzman and several associates. The man, who had once slipped through one of the most elaborate escape tunnels ever constructed, was finally back in custody. This time, the consequences were different. Recognizing the enormous political and security costs of allowing another escape, Mexican authorities accelerated extradition proceedings. In January 2017, Guzman was transferred to the United States under extraordinary security. Gone were the opportunities created by local networks and familiar terrain. Inside a federal supermax prison, his world shrank to concrete walls, reinforced steel, and isolation measured not in months but in years. The tunnel beneath Altiplano remains one of the most astonishing prison escapes ever documented, not because one man disappeared through a hole in the floor, but because every stage of the operation revealed meticulous planning on an industrial scale. It was an engineering project hidden beneath ordinary ground, financed by extraordinary wealth, protected by secrecy, and executed with precision that challenged the limits of modern prison security. Long after the escape ended, investigators, engineers, and security experts continued studying how it happened, because understanding the tunnel meant confronting a far more unsettling reality. The strongest walls in the world can become meaningless when the real attack comes from a direction no one thought to watch.